en la tele.
I think we are live. Yes, we are live. I'm going to show you in this video how to make some of the most simple, delicious, and healthy grain-free and dairy-free cookies. And today for that, I'm here with my mom.
Hi.
I'm visiting Spain and Halloween is coming and my nephew, 2 years old, is coming. So we decided to start preparing some goodies and we are gonna prepare some grain-free, low-carb, alternative, dairy-free, because remember, anti-inflammatory approach, that's always the way to go. And all those candies that we give to the kids, they bind to the same receptors in the tongue and the gut as cocaine, heroin, or alcohol. Send the signal to the brain, release dopamine, and then the kid feels hyper and feels good. But that creates addictions. So very important to start controlling sugar in all the goodies that we are preparing, because it's very simple to make healthy goodies and enjoy them at the same time. And those cookies are not just for Halloween. I know Halloween is coming, but it's something you can have for breakfast, snack, for any potluck that you have, anything. And you just need few ingredients. I'm gonna go through. I would love to hear if you are connected, where you are connecting from, if you have any question related to this or any other question about health. I will be very happy to answer your questions. Put them in the chat and we will go through. So what's the deal with these cookies? What we are going to use is almond flour. Let me show you the ingredients that we are going to use right here. All right. So we are going to use 3/4 cup almond flour as a low carb approach. You can also use cassava flour as a paleo alternative. I'm going to use this time for paleo approach some coconut sugar, but you can use stevia extract as a low carb alternative. A little bit of non-refined Himalayan salt. You can use Hawaiian, Himalayan, Celtic, non-iodized refined salt. We are going to use some chopped nuts of your choice. In this case, there's a lot of lighting here. In this case, I'm going to use macadamia, but you can use pecans, walnuts, any of your favorite nut. I'm going to use chocolate. So these cookies are chocolate chip cookies. I forgot to mention that. Chocolate chip cookies are what everybody loves. And the deal with the chocolate chip is that you cannot find high percentage cacao chocolate chip. So what I do, I take a chocolate bar and then I cut it into small pieces like this. And this is a chocolate bar, 85% cacao. So I cut it in small pieces. If you put it in the food processor, it's also okay, but it becomes too small. So these are the dry ingredients. And then for wet ingredients, we are going to use a vanilla extract without alcohol, coconut oil, and 1 egg. All right, so my mom and I were gonna start putting all the ingredients together. If you are not making these goodies with us right now, the recording is going to be available right there. And I would love also to hear which is your favorite recipe for cookies or other goodies. Or if you want a recipe for other goodie, just ask me and I will show up in another video making the low carb, grain-free, anti-inflammatory approach for that. Okay, so let's start putting the hands to start mixing all the ingredients together. You will see how simple it is to make it. So first, here, we are going to start mixing in a bowl the dry ingredients. So first we are gonna add 3/4 cup of almond flour. Very good. I have the best chef today with my mother. Very good. Then we are gonna add 2 to 3 tablespoons of coconut sugar as a value approach, as I mentioned, or you can use half to 1 teaspoon stevia extract as a low carb approach. Very good. Then we are gonna add just a little pinch of salt, just a little pinch, like this. That's kind of like too big, but it's gonna be sweet. Era mucho, mama, but it's gonna be okay. Then we are gonna add the chopped nuts. We are going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chopped nuts. We are using, as I mentioned, macadamia nuts, but you can use pine nuts, pecans, any of your favorite nuts of choice. Then we are going to add the chocolate chips. Ooh, 85% chocolate. So we are going to add 1/4 cup chocolate chips, and we are going to mix everything together. And that will be the dry ingredients. And now we need to mix the wet ingredients in a different bowl. Oops. We forgot to get a new bowl. So, coge otro bowl, mama. This didn't happen when we are improvising. Today, we just decided to jump in while we are making these cookies. No grandes para mezclar el huevo. We just need a very small bowl to mix the wet ingredients. It's okay. All right. So we come back here. So we are going to put 1 large egg. Okay. We are gonna beat it a little bit. Very good, with energy. That's what my mother always told me. Hey, Linda, nice to see you. Very nice to see you here. You are gonna love these cookies. All right, and then we are going to add 2 teaspoons vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of melted coconut oil. You can use coconut oil, avocado oil, ghee that is also melted as a high smoke point approach. I personally use coconut oil, but if you don't like the coconut flavor, this doesn't really give a coconut flavor, but if you don't like it, it's okay. You can use avocado oil. So we are going to add 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and we mix everything together. Very good, very good. And we are going to add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. By the way, we have preheated the oven at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. So we add the wet into the dry. Let me show you how the mixture is gonna look like. Very good. So even if it looks like very little, you are gonna get about 10 cookies, more or less. All right, so this is how it looks like. I hope you can see. And now what we are gonna do, we are gonna put it in a tray. All right, so we are gonna bring a tray that we line with parchment paper, never aluminum foil. Okay. And then we are gonna take 1 tablespoon and we are gonna add little balls, like this, no more than that. And it's about 10, separate from each other because it's gonna grow a little bit. So we want them separate from each other, at least 2 inches. So we are gonna do that with all the batter. Like this. This smells really yummy. And this is also kids friendly. This is a perfect recipe, as you can see, very simple. If you have kids, to cook with them. And they are gonna love it because they are gonna eat it after. Maybe we are gonna get 9, between 9 to 10. It depends how big is your egg. If it's gonna give. But remember, this is gonna grow, so don't worry if this is a little bit small. Oops, very important. Very, very important. And this is what the life has. I just realized we haven't added the baking powder. When you add the dry ingredients, you can add half a teaspoon baking powder. We haven't added the baking powder, but it's gonna be okay. Maybe it's not gonna grow that much, but it still is gonna grow because of the egg. But remember, the flour, the salt, the sweetener, the nuts, the chocolate, and the baking powder. Very, very important. Oi, 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 mom. I'm cooking with my mom today and she's distracting me. So I'm just gonna make it a little bit flat with my fingers, just like this. Some are gonna be smaller than others, that is okay. And that's it. This is how it looks like. We are gonna put them in the oven. In the middle of the oven at 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius for, I will say, 10 to 15 minutes. It depends on each person's oven. When I'm cooking these cookies at home, I leave it for 13-15 minutes. Here in my mother's oven, always goes a little bit faster, around 10 minutes. You have to see that they are getting golden brown on the top, but they don't get burned. And then after 10 minutes, as you can see, is the fastest recipe that I have made in here. After 10 minutes, you take out the cookies and leave them cool down completely. You can even put them in the refrigerator a little bit to get a little bit harder before you eat them. Everybody loves these cookies. I made them yesterday as well. My father said, I'm gonna eat just one because usually chocolate chip cookies are too heavy. He ate just one, he couldn't eat just one. He ate 2 cookies because they are very, very good. We are making this, as I said, because my nephew is coming for Halloween this weekend. So we are trying to make healthy goodies, and this is completely grain-free, dairy-free, low carb. It uses stevia. Now, if you have high histamine levels, you gotta substitute or eliminate some ingredients. For example, from here with high histamine, I would say not chocolate. Chocolate is really high in histamine. Some people are also sensitive to nuts, so you may just want to make plain cookies with the flour, no chocolate, no chopped nuts, and you can add spices. You can add the spices like, for example, cardamom. You can add vanilla. You can play with the spices to add some flavor, but you cannot do chocolate if you have high histamine. And if you have to be on a low FODMAP diet because you have candida overgrowth or you have SIBO, which is bacteria overgrowth, you can tolerate a little bit of almond flour. You can definitely eat 1 or 2 cookies in one serving, or you can substitute it for cassava flour. Cassava flour is okay on a low FODMAP diet. And cassava is higher a little bit in carbohydrates, so it would be a paleo alternative, but still grain-free. And you substitute it the same way. Instead of 3/4 cup of almond flour, you are going to do 3/4 cup of cassava flour. It's usually 1 to 1. So that's how you would do it. So let's see everybody that is connected. Hey, Linda, Nancy, thank you for connecting. I'm very thrilled. It was something that we decided to do just last minute. Nancy says, oh, how pretty your mom. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Good genes, good genes. So yeah, I was trying to bring my mom in here. She was a little bit shy to show up in here, but I needed some hands so I could hold you while we see what we are cooking. Thank you very much for connecting. If you have any question, even if it's not related to the cookies, put it in the comments. Let me know which is the recipe that you would love me to do, because you are struggling with dietary changes and then you love one recipe but you don't know how to substitute it. Let me know, and that will be also the next video that I will put here as well. Thank you so much. Please give a try to these recipes. I would love to hear if you make them, how you like them, and I hope to see you hanging out in the channel. All right? I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Bye.
Bye.